Hi, I am so excited to talk with you about your Abre Camino kit. As you know and may have read on your box already, Yabisi is all about weaving ancestral practices into your everyday life. Our botanica is built on Caribbean diasporic remedies and essentially practices like curanderismo and such bottled and distilled in a bottle for you to take home and to be able to experience these rituals yourself, beginning to bridge a relationship with these practices that you might be interested in, that you might be familiar with and are seeking support with, etc. So this holiday season we put together 6 different kits, and it really is a way that I put together medicine packages for clients when folks come to the Botanica and are seeking particular support around particular experiences. These are the sorts of kits that we create for them here. So I'm making it accessible for everyone. The first one we're starting with is Abre Camino. If you are not familiar with Abre Camino, it translates to road opening. So a lot of us this year have gone through really intense changes, a death and rebirth year, as we know. And if you're on Instagram, you've been hearing everybody talk about the year of 9, the shedding of the snake, the year of the snake, and so on. So as 2025 comes to a close for the Gregorian calendar, we take this as a portal of opportunity in the spiritual world to help us to open the roads to where we are meant to go. If you experienced a lot of shedding, a lot of rebirth, a lot of death, a lot of, if you're experiencing grief around what was, or feeling very unsure about where you're going, you're at this threshold where you know that who you were, where you were, what you were no longer fits, but you're not quite sure as to who you are in this moment and who you're stepping forward to become. So an Abre Camino is a beautiful ceremony to help us get more clear, to help us get very grounded in our bodies, in our breath, to really seek our own intuition, our own inner wisdom. These are, of course, we're utilizing plant medicine technologies, we're utilizing ancestral practices and rituals that are all in an effort to help us get more clear on our own inner voice. So this kit was made to support both the individual and to support the home or the space that you are residing in, working in, creating in, building community in, etc. So we'll start with the individual. So in traditionally how I would do this, if I was opening my kit and I was at home and I was like, oh, okay, I'm about to have this ritual in my house, I would light a candle. I like to set the tone audibly. So I'll play some music that is highly vibrational, music that gets me really in the ritual and ceremony mindset. So I've got my candle burning, I've got the music going. Then you want to take your smudge stick. These are very traditional. So this has lemon and orange slices as well as cinnamon. These are herbs for bringing in sweetness, bringing in calmness, sort of gently cleansing the energy for us. And it's being bound on white sage, which as we know is highly cleansing, is bringing in, again, a higher vibration, helping to shake up any dense energies. So you want to start by lighting your smudge stick after your candle's lit, after your music is on, and you can just allow it to burn. If you want to go, cleanse around your body, cleanse around the space, cool, or you can just put it in a, fire safe dish, burning and sort of setting the vibe. I'm gonna do that because as I talk about setting the vibe, we must set the vibe. So I'm gonna let this burn. I got a little rock here. I'm gonna let this hang out on the rock as we move through the rest of the package. So we've got our, element of air coming in and supporting us. Then you want to begin to prepare your baño. So you always want to start with the baño amargo. So this is the bitter bath. This is a 9-herb traditional bitter bath that helps with, it tells us on the bottle, extracts bitterness, pain, and trauma, clears the energetic body. So first we want to start with removing. What I would do is, as this is burning and as we start getting into the infusing of the tea, is when we're going to go into a writing practice. So we're going to start with infusing the tea. It is like a tea, but the dried blend baño. Every baño comes with directions and more information, so you know what herbs are going on your body. It tells you when to use a bitter bath. It gives you ritual instructions, etc. So you'll always have this little handy dandy in here. And then every baño also comes with a muslin bag that's going to, not allow all the herbs to disperse all over your tubs. So I am going to take a couple of tablespoons. I have an herb scooper. I don't have like a traditional tablespoon scooper with me here. This is a scooper, so I would say this is about 2 tablespoons already. So this is good for 1 baño. I'm gonna set this to the side, and in this moment you could be boiling some water, putting it on a kettle. I have a mason jar here. So again, this is me preparing a baño for myself, just me alone. So you want to use about a half gallon of water. I've got a half gallon mason jar here. You could also do this directly in the pot that you're warming the water in, or a bowl if you don't have a mason jar at home. So I'm putting my baño in here, sealed up, and then I've got some hot water from our kettle here. So it's essentially like steeping some tea, but like a big tea for your whole body. I'm not gonna fill it up all the way, but you get the idea. You wanna fill it up and then allow it to sit somewhere wherever your ritual is taking place, maybe near your candle or near your smudge stick, just to, as it infuses, be in the vibration. And while you're waiting for your baño to infuse, take a moment, get a journal, some paper. If you want to write it on the notes app of your phone, I love to do pen to paper. But take a moment and allow yourself to write out anything that you are not bringing in with you in 2026. Remember to include the things that we may not even realize that we're self-sabotaging ourselves. We may not even realize that we're perpetuating certain energy to keep us in these cycles and loops. So allow spirit to do what it do. Call them in, ask them to come in and remove all of these energies, to allow you to shed the skin, essentially shed the skin, open the path, lighten the load. Take a few moments, as long as it needs. I've definitely intended to sit down for I just got a couple things I need to get out, just jot some things down as my baño's infusing, and then 10-15 minutes later I'm still going, and that's a lot of writing. It becomes automated writing. Your handwriting might shift a little bit. Things become very clear. So allow yourself a moment to do that. After your baño is infused, allow it to cool. You can take out the muslin bag, add a little bit of the Florida water that you received. So add a splash or 2 of Florida water. If you have any spiritual colognes that you like to use for your spiritual baths, again, thinking of removing a bitter bath, any flower essences that you work with, essential oils, etc., zhuzh your baño up. Add all of your waters, all of your essences, oils directly in there once it's cooled down. And then you're gonna go and take your regular shower. Take your regular shower, and then hold your baño, taking your baño with you into the bathroom, holding your baño at your heart center or on your belly, however you can hold it, and just, again, speaking into it, saying, help me remove these cords, help me to open the roads, help me to lighten the load, help me to whatever is coming through intuitively. And then from there, you're pouring this baño over your head. If you're not comfortable getting your hair wet, at least take a little bit, put it on your forehead, put it on the back of your neck, on your ori, and then, allow from your neck down the water to cascade over you. And visualize this water, this infused baño that's going over your body as a golden light. And it is truly cutting cords. It is clearing energetic cords, energetic repetitions, energetic cycles. It's clearing all the excess things that our bodies are just like ready to break free of. From there, you allow yourself to air dry, do your little face routine if you need to, take a few moments. Then the ritual is not over yet. We're doing this. This is gonna be a little moment. Then everyone receives a cast iron pot. It's the literal same one that I use for my personal work and for client work. I love that it has this wooden handle, allows you to really move freely with anything hot in the pot, this distance, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna actually use my pot to show y'all how we prepare the white fire limpia. So again, the bitter bath has been, you took the bitter bath, you did your writing practice, now you're in your pajamas, you're like cozy, maybe you got a cup of tea going, your candle is still lit, perhaps you need to relight your sage. Take a few moments to tap into your breath, to just be present. And then you're gonna take your cast iron pot. You see, I use this so often. Your cast iron pot and your white fire limpia. A white fire limpia is a bruja quick fix tool. It's so funny. I have memories of, I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in a apartment building with lots of other families in there, and there was an older woman who would take a pot, like literally it looked like her frying pan pot. It was not no cast iron pot, it was like a frying pan. And at the entrance of her doorway every New Year, she would put alcohol in the pot, light it on fire, and people would go, a line of people from inside the house outside, and you're like crossing over this fire, this white fire. And the idea is that the fire is transmuting. Fire is such a deep alchemist of transformation, transmutation, allowing us, a lot of folks who shapeshift, allows us to be back into ourselves or shed that shift that we were just in. It is a fire it is an energy of the phoenix, of rebirth, renewal. So again, after taking this bitter bath, coming back into yourself, your present moment, lighting your smudge stick, taking a few breaths, you prepare your white fire limpia. And I've already blended everything up for you. So it's coarse white salt, there's ruda, there is peppermint, rose, many other herbs which are all listed on here. So you want to take 1 to 2 tablespoons, again, tablespoons, eyeballing it. Traditionally, just a spoonful or 2. Then again, go back to using your Florida water. Make sure I opened mine. Sure didn't. And you just need a little bit. So you've got your couple scoops of salt, of white fire mix. You want to do enough to wet it, but nothing too crazy. And giving yourself some distance, you're going to light the white fire limpia. So it looks like this. And what you do in this moment is, perhaps this is on your tabletop. I do this sitting on the floor, like crisscross applesauce style. I visualize this as a bonfire, such as so many of our ancestors sat around the fire, shared words, shared prayers. This is a rite of passage. This is an energy and a support system in itself. So taking a moment to be present with the energy of fire. Perhaps you're putting your hands over it to feel the warmth and the heat, bringing that towards yourself, and visualizing this fire, again, transforming you, helping you to continue to shed. We just use the element of water, the element of earth with the herbs. We're using the element of air to speak and transmit our prayers and our hopes and the things that we're releasing. And now we're using the energy of fire to really help us to catalyze that shift, to help us to move past. So after taking a few moments, again, connecting with the fire, the heat, cleansing yourself, I want you to walk over the fire. So definitely do this on the floor. So you're gonna walk over the fire. So this is gonna be on the ground. If you have flowy clothes on, make sure you're lifting your materials up, and just step over the fire with your left foot first, stepping over the fire, crouching again, connecting, stepping over the fire again. You wanna do this 3 times. And when it closes, sit by the fire, do some fire gazing if that feels comfortable for you, or just being present, being in prayer, and just connecting, gazing at the fire, visualizing this superpower element again, transforming, transmuting, helping us to alchemize what was, and fueling the initiatory energy that we need to move forward. In my spiritual practice, fire is of course connected to the Orisha Shango, but the energy of movement, the energy of the fire in our hearts, the fire in our bellies that moves us forward, is very much an energy of Ogun as well. Ogun is the warrior spirit that guides our heart space and who works at the crossroads with Eshu, with Elegua. So Ogun is the energy that pushes us forward. Elegua opens the roads for us, but it is up to us to walk over that threshold, or to stay where we are, or turn backwards. So Ogun is the energy that we connect with when we are pushing ourselves forward, walking in courage, walking towards our light. So this again helps us to release all that really is not serving, and allow it to go out. If you are like, this is going on forever, you have this handy top, you can just place it over and it's going to, end that fire for you. So that's the end of ritual day 1. The ritual for day 2 is to work with the baño dulce, the sweet bath. So it's so funny that in the shop we sell these separately as well as together, and so many folks go for the baño amargo, the bitter bath, but not a lot of people go for the sweet bath. And I think that this is what a lot of us really need. A lot of us, especially this year, have been in that energy of release and that energy of grief and that energy of shedding, that letting go, like just moving past. But we want to fill that space with something positive. You don't want to be an empty vessel. You want to recharge. And sometimes, that looks like the self-care that can be, when it's accessible to us, massages, bubble baths, mani-pedis, like a facial, whatever that looks like for you. Yes, do that. But on the everyday life, the everyday day-to-day, when you need a little bit of that like refill, a little bit more sweetness, a baño dulce is a beautiful way to incorporate that ritual into your everyday. So similarly to the bitter bath, it comes with directions to let you know exactly what 9 herbs are in this bath, when you can be supported with a spiritual bath, a sweet bath, and ritual instructions on how to prepare it. So again, you have the muslin bag. You want to put 1 to 2 tablespoons in here and do the similar what we did with the bitter bath. So getting a vessel to hold your herbs, thanking your herbs, speaking sweetness into the herbs and into the water, and then allowing that infusion to take place similarly to a tea. And then as the day before or a few days before, as you did that ritual with, writing down the things that you're releasing, the things that you ain't here for anymore, now you're going to start writing about your biggest manifestation. Like, not like, I would love to see another comma in my bank account. I would love to see, yes, call in the monetary gains, call in the new car, call in, whatever that looks like on a material level for you. But what is your biggest, sweetest dream? What does your sweetest life look like? Not the soft life, because that's not every day, but like the sweetest life. Does that look like slow mornings for you? Does that look like you don't have to worry, like, yes, bills and all these things, but beyond the humanness, like, you're just in a space of ease perhaps, or maybe your life is so full of love, or maybe you're so booked and busy, or maybe you're traveling the world. What does your specific sweetness look like, feel like, taste like, smell like? Write that down, because that is a frequency that you are moving towards. It's not the things that are gonna get us through to tomorrow or next week. It is the frequency that you are calling in, and a lot of us have a hard time elevating to specific frequencies. That's why these bitter baths and these sorts of road opening technologies are so helpful, to help us free up that stagnant weight so that we may rise to this frequency. But you got to get in touch with what that frequency is. I'm sure you already have an idea, but allow these herbal technologies to help you get there. Allow your written word to help you get there, and write down again what that frequency feels like, looks like, smells like, tastes like, etc. And after that, you place it, underneath your candle, and then you go and take your sweet bath. And again, you do your regular shower, you take your baño, speaking your sweetness into it, calling on the energy of Oshun. Oshun is a warrior. Like Oshun, we think about her and it's like fertility goddess, beauty, like all these things. But Oshun is a warrior. Like she will come, you got to come correct. So think about that with yourself. Think about that energy of the river, who is Oshun, always constantly flowing, gently in motion, but it carves rock, it carves through the land. So think about that softness and that grit that it carries and that we each carry, calling in that sweetness, visualizing this baño as golden light cascading over your body and filling it with sweetness. We're not removing, we're not cutting, we're filling it with honey, we're feeding it with sweetness, we're feeding it that peace, that calmness, that stability, that frequency that you are calling in. Feel and feed your body that energy with this infused plant medicine goodness. And then again, you are allowing yourself to air dry, do your routine, do a real beauty routine that day, especially on that sweet bath. Put your oils on, put your lotion on, your oils on, like do the deep conditioning, like make it an everything shower day, like really feed yourself that sweetness and go to sleep. Allow that rest to be. Okay, so that's step one. That's the first way to do it. This is for the individual. You could also do this for your partner, for the folks that you live with, for your children. In my house, when we're doing the Abre Camino baño of the year, everybody's getting a baño. Me, my husband, the baby, the dog. And then the second part is the house, the home, the space that is the physical container. It's a similar process where instead of doing a bath for yourself, you are making a floor wash, or maybe like, the water that you are dusting and wiping the walls down, the appliances down with, In my house, it was always like a little bit of fabuloso, a little bit of Florida water, and then whatever baño blend was being made in that moment. Similar to how I do it here in my shop and at home. So I'll give you the example for at home. At home, again, light a candle. Like think about the room that is the most central. In my house, it's the living room. The living room, dining room area is like where we host people, where a lot of our lives exist around the kitchen table in my family. So I will always have, when I'm doing these sorts of home cleanses, a white candle burning in the center of the table. We know what time it is when we're doing the house cleaning. It's that limpieza day. Like it's the day that the music is on blast, the windows are open, even if it's a little cold, but you're sweeping, you're burning the sage. Again, allowing it to just sit on the table if you need to, or walking around the rooms and getting the energy moving in the house. So after you do that, you're gonna prepare your bitter bath. In my household, I do it all together. So I'll make a big batch and I'll save some for the cleansing and then the rest is used for the baño. So let's say you did that and you have about this much for your floor wash / house wash. Add this to whatever you're mopping with, whatever you're washing with, then add your regular cleaning. If you say about that fabuloso life, if you're using something more organic and like earth friendly, whatever you're using, add it to that water. Add a little holy water if that's your thing. In my family, we're from the Bronx. We go to the gruta, we add that blessed gruta water, adding Florida water, adding essences, oils, like, the things that are really your ashe, adding it to that floor wash. And then what you want to do is clean your house as you normally would. Clean your house when you are doing the floor washes. There are some prayers that are suggested to use. And I'll share those as Psalms 23. Psalm 23 is a great one. It's just like protecting the home, protecting yourself, protecting the household. There are some great Archangel Michael prayers. I can add those to our itinerary, the written itinerary. And saying those prayers, or even just having high vibrational music on in the house and thinking great uplifting thoughts, clearing out, getting into the corners of the house, making sure you're wiping down those cobwebs, just really giving the house a good clean. And this bath is, of course, again, removing old energy, moving out the last year. If you had a difficult year, if there are particular spaces in the home that have really seen the most conflict or restless sleep, if if you're having a hard time sleeping. I feel like in everyone's home, depending on the feng shui of the house, again, in my house, like everything is around the kitchen table. Hard conversations, joyful conversations, friend situations. Some of my business running, the kitchen table is also my like office half the time. So thinking about those spaces where a lot of energy is moving, taking extra care, extra time in that room, speaking extra love and positive affirmations over those spaces in your home. And then afterwards, we're gonna do the same thing as we did with the white fire limpia, except this is gonna be in the center of your house. So perhaps it is the kitchen table, the living room. You can do the similar thing, putting it into the cast iron pot, adding some Florida water. Let's see if there's some Florida water in here still. Yes, she's still lit. And allowing it to work its way out. And you can please sit with the fire, especially if you've got little ones. Sit with the fire. Maybe it's up high, but sit with the fire. Watch it as it transmutes the energy in your home or in your space of business or in your art studio. Allow it to transform, transmute everything from the year before. And when it goes out, allow your candle, turn off your candle, tamp it out as well, and do those baños that night perhaps, or just have an easy, restful evening. Perhaps it's the next week, not necessarily the next day, but in the next few days, go back and do the sweetening baño, lighting the candles, setting the high vibrational music, and allowing the sweet bath to call in that honey, that goodness, that joyful abundance, because abundance is more than this. Abundance is life, abundance is breath, abundance is presence. So calling in more of those moments to achieve that frequency that you are calling in and that you are so ready for. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you have a beautiful new year whenever this package connects with you and you receive and are able to sit for this mini workshop. Thank you so much, and please stay tuned. We'll be doing more of these kits and creating rituals for folks as we move on. So have a blessed new year, have a beautiful day, and happy ritualing. Bye.